I'd been clean for like 3 or 4 months, and he called me in for this interview, you know, and I was just, you know, I was so ashamed and embarrassed of what I was, you know, being an addict, that when he asked me these questions, you know, I just automatically say, yeah. You know, like I remember one question was, can you get on a bus full of people? Yeah, because normal people do that. But I literally couldn't, you know, my partner, we were going somewhere. It was like an hour's bus ride. You know, I usually sit upstairs, she sits downstairs. I was on the bus for like the next stop and I couldn't handle it and I got off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just found it really hard to be around loads of people because I was so used to being isolated on myself, you know. So that's just like a question that I would answer yes to, that one. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I was so embarrassed and ashamed to say no, I can't do that stuff, you know. And the way he was asking me the questions was, you know, I found it really hard to deal with, you know. And he'd look at me as if like I was stupid or mad. Do you know what I mean? When he asked me these questions, and I'd go like, well, yeah, I can do that. And my partner, thank God she came with me, she said, no, you can't. No, you can't. Do you know what I mean? I was so embarrassed and ashamed. That was the main thing. And the questions he asked were so intrusive. You know, well, what happens in childhood to make you take drugs? You know, that type of questions. I found it really hard to deal with, you know. And today, you know, I take addicts and go and do it with them. And I do what my partner does for me. You know, I say, well, actually, he can't do that. You know, he's ashamed and embarrassed that, you know, so that's why he says, yeah. But I personally know he can't do that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, it was just really traumatic, having to go back to your background constantly, having to ask questions about, you know, what you can and can't do. I understand why they've got to do that, but I think if they were a bit more gentler about it, you know, and a bit more understanding, I'd have been a bit more open and say, well, actually, I can't do this because of this reason. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just going, yeah, constantly. You know, when I done this interview, I couldn't cook for myself. I've been living on the streets or in jail for 18 years, 20 years. You know, I couldn't cook for myself, couldn't clean really, you know, couldn't do a shopping list. You know, they never took any of them questions into like factor, do you know what I mean? It was just, can you walk 100 meters and breathe okay? Well, yeah, I'm an addict, man. I'm not like a person with one leg. Do you know what I mean? You know, you never asked me, like, can I cook for myself? Can I clean for myself? You know, can I do a million things that addicts and homeless people can't do? They never asked me one of them questions. They asked me questions that I'm going to say normal people would do. Do you know what I mean? They never took into the fact that it wasn't physical with me. I was in good health. Do you know what I mean? But it was mental. It was what was in my head that I couldn't deal with. I can walk 100 yards. I can run up and down stairs all day. You know, I can stand behind the counter if I had to. But what I can't do is can't stand behind the counter if someone's beside me at that time. You know, or if the shop's crowded. They never asked me them type of questions. You know, and the guy was really, really abrupt. You know, there was no compassion there. Do you know what I mean? There was just nothing there. He was just doing a job. And he made me feel so bad about myself. I relapsed on that interview. I'm not blaming him for that. That was me. You know, but he just made me feel so bad about myself that that's how I used to deal with things. You know, and yeah, today I go in with addicts and homeless people myself as an advocate for them, just because I know how traumatic it was to go through that when I was just clean, you know, and I know how traumatic it's going to be for them to go through that. And it shouldn't be that way. You know, it shouldn't be that hard. Well, it's that thing of, you know, we find, especially when we've just been clean, or this is the first time we're ever doing anything like this, you know, we need to be mollycoddled and loved a little bit. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, not like looked at as if we're a waste of space because of how long we've been addicts, or if we can't do these things. I have friends that are just getting clean that can't read, you know, so I now fill out forms for them. Do you know what I mean? They have to take them things into consideration. And if you're saying to somebody, what, you can't read, it doesn't make me feel good, you know, or you filled this form in wrong, you need to do it again. Doesn't, you know what I mean? Not you fill this form in wrong, let me help you do it, you know, and do it properly. They don't do that, you know what I mean? You fill a form in wrong, do it again. 30, 40 pages, well, if I filled in wrong the first time, what makes you think I can do it by myself a second time?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. No matter what.